Sorry. हेलो हेलो, गुड आफ्टरनून टू ऑल। और हो गया कौन थोड़ा सा देखते हैं अबाउट इंडियन इकोनॉमी, जो कि क्वेश्चंस आर हाईली एक्सपेक्टेड इन, चाहे वो CGL हो, CHSL हो या फिर GD हो। तो बेसिक्स क्वेश्चंस ही आते हैं, बट दे आर सम रिलेटेड टू सम कंसेप्ट्स। तो वन लाइनर क्वेश्चंस विल बी देयर, बट इट विल बी रिलेटेड टू सम कंसेप्ट्स। तो वी विल बी डिस्कसिंग इन सच ए वे कि आंसर वी गेट टू द आंसर, बट वी understand the underlying concepts as well. Yes. Chalo, let's start. Don't just give me the answer. If I ask a complementary question along with whatever answer you are giving, you should be able to give. यहाँ पे पूछा गया which of the following correctly defines repo rate? Repo rate. What is repo rate? What is repo rate? I can see there are people live, but I don't know how many of you are going to answer. What is repo rate? Have you heard about these things? Monetary policy. अभी सुना है मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी के बारे में? What is monetary policy? What does monetary policy do? Have you heard about this? Okay, Abhijit B, Dubjuti B, rate at which Reserve Bank of India lends money to commercial banks. It's correct. Now the complementary questions. What is the purpose of this? Reserve Bank of India क्या करेंगे? Money. It will lend money to commercial banks. I agree. पैसे देंगे किसको? कमर्शियल बैंक को। जब वो पैसे दे रहे होंगे, इट विल बी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ अ लोन, दैट मीन्स देयर विल बी अ इंटरेस्ट रेट। जो भी जिस इंटरेस्ट रेट पे रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया कमर्शियल बैंक को लोन देगी, उसे बोलते हैं रेपो रेट। क्या है एप्लीकेशन, क्या है, व्हाट इज द यूज ऑफ इट? रिजर्व बैंक ऐसे नहीं दे सकते पैसे बैंकों को। वी हैव एनफ मनी, वी आर द कस्टोडियन ऑफ द रिजर्व्स, वी आर द बैंक ऑफ द बैंकर ऑफ द बैंक्स. So why they are charging a rate, or why they are charging the interest? What is the main use? Subjuti, good afternoon. It's been long, you guys. बताओ, why is this in existence? ये existence में है क्यों repo rate? We get loan from bank at a particular interest rate, we agree, because bank, whatever bank, be it SBI, be it PNB, they are working, their profit is on the basis of our loans, the loans which they gives to us, है ना, that is their asset. Whatever we deposit in the banks, it is the liabilities. Deposit के interest के हिसाब से they have to return us more money, उनको हमें ज़्यादा पैसा देने होते हैं. But when we borrow loan from the banks, we give them extra money, that is the interest. That is how they make the profit. आरबीआई को क्या जरूरत पड़ती है कि दे आर लेंडिंग मनी एट एन इंटरेस्ट रेट या फिर दे आर हैविंग सम इंटरेस्ट. बिट्टू रॉय, okay, B, I agree, but what I am asking you is this, क्या है existing, why there is a need of this repo rate or for any of the quantitative tools of monetary policy. क्या है repo rate? It is a monetary policy के दो tools होते हैं, एक को बोलते हैं हम लोग quantitative tool, है ना, quantitative tool, और दूसरे को क्या बोलते हैं हम लोग qualitative tool. Yes or no? Repo rate कौन सा है? It is a quantitative tool. Why it is there in existence? क्यों है repo rate? क्यों है? देखो, कभी सुना है इसका नाम इन्फ्लेशन? तो चीजों के दाम भाव बढ़ जाते हैं. This is known as inflation. Just try to listen this in the form of a story. ये एक जस्ट कहानी है, कहानी की तरह सुनो और समझो. इन्फ्लेशन जब होती है, चीजों के दाम बढ़ने लगती है, किस वजह से होते हैं इन्फ्लेशन? अगर सिंपल टर्म्स में हम बोलने के लिए जाए, दैट इज द सप्लाई डिमांड कर्व, है ना. या तो एक वन ऑप्शन इज दैट द सप्लाई विल रिड्यूस और द अदर ऑप्शन इज दैट द डिमांड विल इंक्रीज. सप्लाई रिड्यूस का क्या मतलब है? सपोज देयर आर 100 पीपल and for 100 people I was producing 100 chocolates. Okay, now what happened, my supply due to some unforeseen weather events, whatever it is, my supply reduced. Now for 100 students I can only give supply of 80 chocolates. अभी supply जब कम हो गया, that means the one, सबको एक एक चॉकलेट नहीं मिलेगी. The one who can purchase, जिसका purchasing power है, they will only be able to buy these chocolates. तो अभी what will happen, the price will increase because I cannot provide enough supply to all the 100 students, right? Since the supply has gone down, the inflation or the price will increase. I can increase the price. Now if I was selling per chocolate at 10 rupees, since the supply is less, I have to sell it at 12 rupees. This is one of the case. Secondly, क्या हो सकता है, I was producing chocolates for 100 people and they are so good. Now these 100 people are not satisfied with these 100 chocolates. They need more. They are now more demanding. Okay, this is not a real case in case of economics that it was very tasty or it was very good. The real case is they have now more money. Their purchasing power has increased. पहले क्या होता था, ये 100 students they could only afford one chocolate each, but now they can afford more than one chocolate. उनके जेब पे ज्यादा पैसा आ गया. अभी जो ज्यादा पैसा आ गया वो ज्यादा डिमांड करेंगे कि मुझे और चॉकलेट्स दो, तो मैं कहां से दूंगा? आई विल इंक्रीज द प्राइस. दैट्स हाउ इन्फ्लेशन जनरली हैपेंस. बहुत सारे लॉजिक्स है, बहुत सारे रीजंस है, बट अंडरस्टैंड इज वेरी सिंपली, और इतना ज्यादा जानने की जरूरत भी नहीं है. दिस इज फॉर द सिविल सर्विसेज एंड ऑल. तो दिस जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड अबाउट द सप्लाई एंड डिमांड रिलेशन. ओके, तो अभी जब इन्फ्लेशन होती है, मतलब लोगों के पास बहुत ज्यादा पैसा आता है. लोगों के पास पैसा कहां से आता है? If the country's growth is very good, the production is very good, you are getting more and more salary, you are getting more and more wage for whatever work you are doing, तो उसके लिए आपके पास ज़्यादा पैसा आ रहा है. और क्या हो सकता है कि बैंक आर गिविंग यू लोन्स, बैंक्स आर गिविंग यू लोन्स एट अ वेरी लो इंटरेस्ट रेट. अगर मैं एक गाड़ी खरीदने का शौक रखता हूँ, तो बैंक ने अगर बोल दिया कि अभी 5% there will be a reduction in the interest rate if you buy a 4-wheeler. मुझे शौक है तो मैं भटके जाके immediately I will go and buy a car, right? So if the interest rate goes down, that means I will try to get more money as loans from the banks. उसके लिए मेरे पास ज़्यादा पैसे आ जाएंगे. If I have more money, that means my purchasing power will increase. If I have more purchasing power, that means the demand will increase. That is the relation between the interest rate given by the banks and the inflation. So at that moment, जब inflation होता है, who comes into play? The monetary policy committee. Now they will tell the banks that you are giving at a such low interest rate to the people because we are not taking much interest from you. When we are giving you money, we are taking your interest very low. तो अभी हम क्या करेंगे? We will increase the interest rate. We will charge you 10% for every 100 crores. Okay, now what will happen? Previously we were charging only 8%. Now we will charge 10%. Now what will happen? The banks will take less amount of loans from the RBI, and if they take less amount of loans, that means they have less money. Then they will again increase the interest rate for the people there, because they will have to make profit from the loans. कम इंटरेस्ट रेट पे देंगे तो प्रॉफिट नहीं होगा, ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट रेट देना पड़ेगा. तो इफ दे इंक्रीज द इंटरेस्ट रेट, पीपल विल नॉट गो फॉर टू मच ऑफ लोन्स. उनका परचेसिंग पावर या फिर उनके पॉकेट में ज्यादा पैसा नहीं होगा. ठीक है, दिस इज वन ऑफ द केस. तब जाके क्या होगा? They will be able to curb inflation. If the reverse scenario is there, suppose people have less amount of money, they the businessmen, the manufacturers are producing more and more goods, but people are unable to buy it because they have less money in their pocket. So what will the bank do? Bank will lower the interest rate. Now people will go for loans. If the bank lower, will the bank lower the interest rates? When the banks will get money from RBI at a low interest rate. This interest rate with which RBI will be giving loans to to the banks, to the other banks, this interest rate is known as the repo rate. If RBI increases the repo rate, automatically the bank will increase the interest rate which they were giving for the as per as the loans to the people. If the RBI reduce the repo rate, then bank can give loans to the people at a lower interest rate. Ultimately, it is about how much money, how much purchasing power the people have. Okay, so inflation बढ़ाने के लिए, if you want to rise the price level, then we have to give, government have to give more money into the pockets of the people. Then they will lower this repo rate or the interest rate by the banks. अगर इन्फ्लेशन को कंट्रोल करना है तो लोगों के पैसे से, लोगों के पॉकेट से पैसे छीनो. That means they should not have much money in their pocket so that they cannot demand. Simply saying, it is the interest rate at which the RBI will be giving loans to the people. Mintu देखा बी ओके करेक्ट आया समझ में? सिंपल स्टोरी. Along with repo rate, we have some other tools also. We have one more tool, bank rate. It is the same one, bank rate, but the only difference is that repo rate is for short term and bank rate is for longer duration or longer term. Okay, so repo rate and bank rate are two tools. Another tool is there, CRR, cash reserve ratio. These all are there to either reduce the price or basically the demand, increase or reduce the demand of the, reduce or increase the demand of the people. CRR क्या होता है? ये कुछ part of the deposits होते हैं in the bank which they have to keep as a deposit in RBI. मान लो अभी एक बैंक X, there is a bank X, they have total deposits. There are other terms, okay, time liabilities, demand time liabilities, deposits. तो वो अलग अलग term है. Simply if I tell you they have 100 rupees as deposits, according to the CRR, they have to keep a certain percentage or certain amount, suppose rupees 20, they have to keep with the RBI. So this is to kind of to see that the banks are not giving too much money as loans to the people. So if they increase the CRR, अगर वो बोल दे कि देख रहे हैं कि ये लोग ज़्यादा पैसा they are throwing into the pockets of the people, so what will RBI do? They will increase the CRR, cash reserve ratio. Now out of 100, they were giving 20, now they have to keep 30 in RBI. Only 70 they can give away as loans. Okay, so this is CRR. Again there are SLR. CRR is generally, SLR, CLR are almost same, but CRR is only in form of cash. SLR can be in form of cash or government securities and bonds and etc. Sir, please algebra. ये इकोनॉमी के बीच कहाँ algebra आ गया? Lose control. Lose control. You please don't lose control. Okay, we are discussing economy today. Algebra कहाँ से बीच में आ गया? Just a second. Remember these names: bank rate, repo rate, CRR, SLR. One more is the reverse repo rate. reverse repo rate. This is just the opposite of repo rate. Name only as reverse repo rate. That means repo rate was the interest rate at which the commercial banks will get loans from the RBI. Reverse repo rate is just the opposite. The interest rate at which RBI will get money from the or take loan from the commercial banks. तो RBI को कभी कभी लोन लेना होता है, पैसे लेने होते हैं from the commercial banks. Reverse rate will be the rate at which the commercial banks will lend money to the Reserve Bank of India. ठीक है? We understood about repo rate. Coming to the next question. The concept of minimum support price is associated with which of the following? कहाँ किसके साथ associated होता है? Minimum MSP, minimum supported price. Industrial goods, agriculture produce, imported goods or petroleum products. There has been instances where there were huge massive protests 3-4 years ago in India. They were asking one specific items to be included in MSP. Yeah. So what is MSP and which will be the correct answer? What is MSP and which should be the correct answer? Yes, Abhijit. B, Rupjyoti B, agricultural products. Can you name me? Can you name? Not name. Can you tell me how many items are there under MSP? How many agricultural produce or agricultural products are there under MSP? कितने हैं under MSP? And you tell me whether sugarcane is there or not under MSP. Tell me the number. How many items are there under MSP? How many items are there under MSP? How many items are there? Yes, 22 items. Out of 22, some are Kharif crops, some are Rabi crops. What is the difference? Kharif crops, they are generally sown in June, July. The seeds are sown generally in June, July and they are generally harvested in September, October. तो इसके लिए क्या चाहिए? खरीफ क्रॉप के लिए we need more rain, we need more water, moisture. ठीक है? So these are example like rice and everything. Rabi crops, they are mainly sown in during winter season. For example, December, January, and they are harvested in around March, April. इसके लिए क्या चाहिए? Hot weather, dry weather. ठीक है? Not hot, cold weather or dry weather. For the Kharif crops, we generally need more rain. There are water needy crops like rice. So उसको हम sow करेंगे during June, July and it will be harvested during September, October. There are total 22 items under MSP. So होता क्या है MSP? If you have to understand in a very simple language like a story, there is a farmer. he is selling his crops, suppose 100 rupees crops he is selling this year. Okay, in 2000, suppose last year in 2025. In 2026, due to various reasons, the price of the crops drastically it dropped. Now he got only, after selling all the crops, he got only 80 rupees. Okay, due to various reasons, the price drastically dropped. Now, what the government is saying, that whether there are reasons regarding weather or climate or storage or whatever it is, there should be a fixed price for some crops so that the farmers do not have to suffer. उनका एक दाम फिक्स कर दो, वेदर वो सेल कर पा रहे नहीं कर पा रहे, इफ दे आर नॉट बीइंग एबल टू सेल इन द मंडीज और समथिंग, द गवर्नमेंट विल प्रोक्यूर द क्रॉप्स, द प्रोडक्ट्स. Okay, there should be a specific or a fixed price. That means this is the minimum price they should get. Okay, you can see how the farmer distress is there, how they commit suicide because of excessive debt. उनको अच्छे से वो क्रॉप्स बेच नहीं पाते, उनका डेब्ट ज़्यादा हो जाता है, तो दे कैन नॉट टेक द लोड, दे सुसाइड, अटेम्प्ट सुसाइड. बहुत ज़्यादा ये न्यूज़ में रहता है, फार्मर सुसाइड एंड दिस. ठीक है, सो टू मेक श्योर दैट फार्मर्स हैव अ गुड लाइफ, एटलीस्ट अ मिनिमम सपोर्टेड लाइफ, द गवर्नमेंट हैज कम विद दिस कंसेप्ट ऑफ एमएसपी. कब आया था? बहुत साल पहले, ड्यूरिंग ग्रीन रिवोल्यूशन के टाइम पे, 1970s के टाइम पे ही आया था ये कंसेप्ट ऑफ मिनिमम सपोर्ट प्राइस. सो मिनिमम वी शुड शो ए सपोर्ट टू द फार्मर्स. So whatever they are able to sell, they have sold. So whatever is there, we will procure, government will procure all the crops and we will give them a minimum price for it. Okay, there should be a fixed price for it. Okay, so there are 22 crops. Kindly try to find what are those crops. Next question. This is a straightforward question. Which of the following taxes was subsumed under the goods and services tax, GST? Also tell me in which year it was passed, it was introduced in which year, bill passed in which year, and came into effect in which year. In which year it was introduced, in which year the bill was passed, and in which year it came into effect. VAT, yes, good. Value added tax, VAT. C, yes, good. Two type of tax are there, direct tax and indirect tax. Income tax is a direct tax. What is the difference between direct tax and indirect tax? Direct tax जहाँ पे we can identify the taxpayer, this identifiable. Indirect tax where taxpayer is not identifiable. For example, if I pay income tax, so there will be a record. I am filing my income tax, so I am paying the money. That means my name Bhargav Kashyap Gogoi, Mr. Bhargav Kashyap Gogoi is filing this tax. But if it is an indirect tax, I am buying something. I am buying a chocolate. So I am paying tax to the retailer. The retailer is paying to the government. Okay, that means it is going from my pocket basically, but there will be no record from whom the retailer has bought the chocolate. Okay, they will be paying the tax. Agar 10 chocolates are being sold, out of these 10 chocolates, they are paying ₹1 or ₹2 to the government as tax. But they will not know who bought these chocolates. I am not identifiable. सबका रिकॉर्ड थोड़ी ना लेके घूमेंगे किस किस को बेचा है. ठीक है, तो अगर आइडेंटिफाइबल नहीं है वो इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स है, अगर आइडेंटिफाइबल है वो डायरेक्ट टैक्स है. तो इनकम टैक्स, कॉर्पोरेट टैक्स, दीज आर डायरेक्ट टैक्स. तो ये तो आ ही नहीं सकता जीएसटी के अंदर, क्योंकि जीएसटी क्या है, इट इज द इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स. यस, कस्टम्स ड्यूटी इज डिफरेंट. इंपोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट के लिए जो ड्यूटी लगता है वो डिफरेंट है. स्टैम्प ड्यूटी फॉर प्रॉपर्टीज वगैरह ट्रांजेक्शन के लिए वो डिफरेंट अलग से है. which was subsumed, it was the value added tax which was subsumed under GST. Okay, which was subsumed under GST. Done. Coming to the next question. The term fiscal deficit of the government, what does it mean? Fiscal deficit. Can anyone answer this? Excess of revenue expenditure over revenue receipts. excess of revenue expenditure over total receipts excluding borrowings, excess of imports over exports, excess of capital receipts over capital expenditure. क्या होगा? What is fiscal deficit? Everyone is interested nowadays. Fiscal deficit. What is the fiscal deficit of India? What is the fiscal deficit of India? क्यों interested रहते हैं सब लोग? Fiscal policy के ऊपर economic survey, it has a separate chapter about the fiscal health, fiscal policy of India. There you will specifically find this term fiscal deficit. This is the deficit of India. What is fiscal deficit? B. Rubjuti. The correct answer is B. What is fiscal deficit? So, ये भी we will try to understand in the form of a very simple story. This happens in the case of government. What will the government do? See, when we are making our budget, what do we generally do? We first calculate our income, how much income we are going to have. If I am having an income of 100 rupees, then I will think that I will be spending 80 rupees and 20 rupees will be my savings. But the government does the opposite. They will first calculate the expenditure, how much expenses we are going to make in this particular fiscal year, in this particular financial year. After making all the estimates, all the calculation, they will now calculate how much receipts, how much income we are going to have. And when they see that the receipts, the expenditure is more than the receipts, obviously, because we have a expansionary fiscal policy. So, अगर government, मान लो, government has decided the expenditure will be 100 rupees this year, and they have seen that how much income we are going to have, receipts we are going to have only 80 rupees. That means 20 rupees we have to manage from somewhere. So, how will they manage the 20 rupees? They are going to borrow this money. Okay, they are going to borrow this money. Now you see, when the expenditure was 100 and the income was 80, there was a deficit of 20 rupees. This was budgetary deficit. Many people confuse this with fiscal deficit. ये 20 रुपए जो यहाँ पे deficit दिखाया जा रहा है, this is the budgetary deficit. These 20 rupees the government have to borrow from somewhere to adjust into the expenditure, because they have already made their mind कि हम लोग we are going to spend this 100 rupees. Now what is fiscal deficit? What is the difference? You see, when they were preparing this income or the receipts, in this 80 rupees, they already has counted 5 rupees as loans. When they were calculating कि कहाँ से आएगा पैसा, 80 rupees कहाँ से आएंगे? टैक्स से इतने आएंगे हमारे कुछ ग्रांट्स वगैरह से, इतने आएंगे हमारे बिल से, इतने आएंगे हमारे कॉर्पोरेट टैक्स से, इतने आएंगे हमारे जीएसटी से. तो जब कैलकुलेट कर रहे थे तब किसी ने बोला कि सर 5 रुपये तो हमें लोन भी मिलेगा. ठीक है, हाँ ठीक है, आउट ऑफ दिस 80 now I have 5 rupees as loan. Loan का मतलब क्या है? This is also same thing. This is nothing but the borrowing. Yes. So when this 20 rupees deficit was there, it was borrowing. But in this 80 already there was a section of loan there, which 5 rupees was there. Now this got into ये total borrowing कितना हो जाएगा? 20 पहले था, अभी 5 was already there in the form of loan in the income, जहाँ पे income का वो शीट बना हुआ था. तो 20 deficit था एक्सपेंडिचर और रिसीट्स में से, प्लस 5 was already there in the receipts in the form of a loan. The actual deficit is 25. That means अभी एक्चुअली कितना लेना पड़ेगा लोन? 25 रुपीज का. तो पीपल were not aware कि deficit was 20 rupees, so that means our borrowing is 20 rupees. But this was not the case. In this 80 rupees already there was a section of loan जहाँ पे already it was mentioned. Okay, so वहाँ पे यहाँ पे बोला गया excess of total expenditure over total receipts एक्सक्लूडिंग बोरोइंग्स. ये बोरोइंग को एक्सक्लूड करो, यहां पे जो बोरोइंग ऑलरेडी था, ये एक्सपेंडिचर है 100 माइनस यहां पे जो रिसीट्स है 80, और यहां पे 5 रुपए का जो ऑलरेडी बोरोइंग दिया गया था वो हटाओ, इससे माइनस करो. माइनस करने के बाद कितना आएगा? 20 माइनस 5. यस, दैट मीन्स 100. Okay, from this 80 you minus this 5 which we have already written as loan. So 100 minus 75, that is 25. The total deficit is now 25. This is what fiscal deficit means. Is it clear? Abhijit A, no. Excess of revenue expenditure over revenue receipts is known as revenue deficit. Someday I will come up with all these terms. What is revenue deficit? What is fiscal deficit? What is primary deficit? What is effective revenue deficit? Okay. Did you get this point? In this 80 there was already a section as loans. तो वहाँ पे वो we did not minus it before. Directly we had calculated on the basis of expenditure minus receipts. 20 रुपये आ रहे थे, लेकिन बाद में हमें पता चला कि 5 रुपये तो हटाना है क्योंकि ये भी तो लोन ही है, बोरोइंग ही है. तो 80 में से 5 रुपये हटा के 75 बचा. 100 से 75 माइनस करके जो आया, that is our real fiscal deficit or the borrowing which we need to make. Okay. Okay, coming to the next. Which committee recommended the introduction of GST in India? Vijay Kelkar Committee, YV Reddy Committee, Rangarajan Committee, Shanta Kumar Committee. Which committee recommended the GST in India? Please answer this. Which committee recommended? It was named as Kelkar task. बहुत पहले था. This was, I think, GST was first introduced in 2002 or 3. उसके बाद there were debates, discussions in the parliament. Finally, in 2026, the act was passed and it came into effect in 2017. So, what was the committee? It was the Vijay Kelkar Committee. Okay. The recommendation of Vijay Kelkar Committee. Next, which sector contributes the highest share to India's GDP? You see, there are 3 sectors of Indian economy. इसको बोलते हैं हम लोग प्राइमरी 1 डिग्री सेक्टर और प्राइमरी सेक्टर, जिसको बोलते हैं एग्रीकल्चरल सेक्टर ऑल्सो, which is also known as agricultural sector. Then secondary sector, जिसको हम बोलते हैं मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर. मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर. टर्शियरी सेक्टर, जिसको हम बोलते हैं सर्विस सेक्टर. वन मोर हैज और एक हम बोलते हैं क्वाटरनरी, जिसको माइनिंग एंड क्वेरिंग को कभी बोलते हैं हम लोग क्वाटरनरी सेक्टर, माइनिंग वगैरह को. तो यहाँ पे पूछा गया हाईएस्ट शेयर ऑफ इंडिया जीडीपी कौन से सेक्टर में आता है? एग्रीकल्चर, इंडस्ट्री, सर्विसेज और माइनिंग. कुछ भी करेगा आंसर. ओके, खिरुद डोले सी, सर्विस, रूपचुटी सी. Vijay Kelkar is over. Yes, which sector? You are right, it is service. Almost 55 to GDP का 55, more than half GDP कहाँ से आता है? From the service sector. ठीक है, service sector means whatever service. This is what we are doing now. We are providing education. This is also part of the service sector. We are also participating in this tertiary sector only. Now you tell me, in which sector the largest population of India is involved? I am giving you a complementary question. Out of these 4 sectors, in which sector the largest part of India's population is involved? The largest part of India's population is involved. In which sector the largest part of India's population is involved? कौन सा sector? In which sector the largest population of The largest part of India's population is involved. Hirudole, agriculture. Others? Although in the case of GDP share, agriculture is not the highest one, but हमारी ज़्यादातर population किस activity में involve है? In the activity of agriculture or in the primary sector. देखो production नहीं हो रहा है, but people are still involved in this sector more. Okay. Next, open market operations refer to. What is OMO? What is OMO? Open market operations. What is OMO? What is OMO? Sale and purchase of government securities by Reserve Bank of India. Yes. Rupjoti B, Hirudole D. Trade agreements with foreign countries. No. Yes. Anyone else? Anyone else wants to try? Correct answer is B. Sale and purchase of government securities by Reserve Bank of India. See, this is also a strategy by Reserve Bank to maintain the money flow or the liquidity in the market. क्या है गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज G-Secs, काइंड ऑफ अ बॉन्ड. यहाँ पे मान लो इट इज रिटन फेस वैल्यू इज रिटन एज 100. देयर विल बी अ पेपर. आई एम एक्सप्लेनिंग थिंग्स इन अ वेरी सिंपल टर्म्स. ओके, इतना वो सिंपल नहीं होता है, बस समझने के लिए आई एम ट्राइंग टू एक्सप्लेन इन दिस वे. तो एक पेपर है, उसमें से आरबीआई ने लिख दिया 100 रुपीज 100. अभी वो बैंक को दे देंगे. बैंक को पूछे कि आपको खरीदना है. बैंक विल आस्क, ठीक है, दिस इज द फेस वैल्यू इज 100 रुपीज, एट व्हाट प्राइस आर यू गोइंग टू गिव मी? देन आरबीआई टेल दैट बाय इट एट 80 रुपीज. ओके, देयर विल बी अ बैंक, आरबीआई विल टेल देम बाय इट एट 80 रुपीज. तो बैंक वो खरीद लेगा 80 रुपीज में. कितने टाइम के लिए? मान लो 1 साल के लिए, और 1 ईयर. अभी 1 साल के बाद व्हेन द बैंक विल गो टू आरबीआई and show RBI this is what you have given me, this paper, then RBI have to give bank how much? 100 rupees, because it was written 100 rupees there. These are known as bonds. Okay, we'll discuss this properly, but simply to understand like this G-Secs and bonds and everything. ठीक है, तो 1 साल के बाद when bank will ask for this, they will get 100 rupees. Now why RBI does this? बैंक के पास बहुत ज़्यादा पैसा है, RBI को वो पैसा देना है, बिकॉज अगर बैंक के पास इतना ज़्यादा पैसा आ गया तो वो क्या करेंगे? वो लिक्विडिटी बढ़ा देंगे, लिक्विड कैश फ्लो बढ़ा देंगे इन द इकोनॉमी, इन द मार्केट. लोगों के पास ज़्यादा पैसा आ जाएगा और ज़्यादा डिमांडिंग हो जाएंगे, है ना. तो बैंक क्या करेगी? बैंक विल इशू दिस G-Secs. वो बोलेगी कि बैंक को कि ये ले लो, पैसे दो, और 1 साल के बाद आना, इससे ज़्यादा पैसा लेके जाना. ठीक है, तो दिस इज हाउ दे कैन गेट द मनी फ्रॉम द बैंक्स टू मेंटेन द कैश फ्लो इन द मार्केट और इन द इकोनॉमी. तो इट इज द सेल एंड परचेज ऑफ गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज. जब ये बेचेगा गवर्नमेंट, सॉरी आरबीआई बेचेगा ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट, इट इज सेलिंग, एंड व्हेन द बैंक विल गिव देम बैक, दे विल हैव टू बाय देम बैक एंड दे विल गिव देम 100 rupees. That means they are purchasing back the G-Secs. Got it? Next, which of the following is a direct tax? Very easy. इसमें क्या समझाना है? डायरेक्ट टैक्स Which of the following is a direct text? Which of the following is a direct text? B. Monetary policy and monetary policy committee and RBI cannot be used interchangeably, but I am using here because ultimately there is a veto power with RBI. Okay, the members of monetary policy committee will be both from RBI and the government, but RBI has a veto power over it. So they have two types of tools, the MPC, monetary policy committee. कुछ हो गया quantitative tools, I have already discussed bank rate, repo rate, reverse repo rate, CRR, SLR. तो वो सब हो गया quantitative. There were some qualitative tools also. जहाँ पे they will not increase, they will not deal with the rates. They will give some life lessons, moral lessons. एक यहाँ पे एक है moral suasion. These three are क्या है? Quantitative tool. These three are quantitative tools. Bank rate I have explained, repo rate I have explained, OMO I have explained in the last question. Which left? Moral suasion. Moral suasion is a qualitative tool. मतलब they will tell the banks that don't lend money at such low interest rate. या फिर when the demand is less, they will tell that men lend the money to the people at a lower interest rate, because people now they have very less money. So production is becoming degrading. प्रोडक्शन अच्छे से नहीं हो रहा है, जीडीपी ग्रोथ नहीं हो रहा है, बिकॉज पीपल आर नॉट बाइंग गुड्स, नॉट बाइंग देयर प्रॉपर्टीज. तो थोड़ा सा लोन कम कर दो, इंटरेस्ट रेट कम कर दो, सो दैट पीपल कैन गेट लोन्स फ्रॉम यू. ओके, दिस इज जस्ट द गाइडेंस. और फिर या फिर ऐसा कर सकते हैं कि व्हेन देयर इज इन्फ्लेशन दे विल दैट यू आर गिविंग मनी सो मच ऑफ यू आर इंक्रीजिंग द कैश फ्लो इन द इकोनॉमी. So if you do it like this, we will take action against you. Okay. So this is just a warning or a moral lessons to them. This is a qualitative tool. Last one, what is twin deficit? What is twin deficit? What is twin deficit? बताओ, what is twin deficit? B. Fiscal deficit and current account deficit. Very good. Fiscal deficit I have already explained. With current account deficit क्या है? See, there is a concept. BOP क्या होता है? Whatever as individual I make transaction, or as the government make transaction, or the private firms, whatever transaction we make with the rest of the world, as the Indian nationals we make transaction with the rest of the world, those will be counted in the balance of payment. मतलब इंडियंस के हिसाब से हम अगर दूसरे देशों के साथ कुछ इंपोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट रेमिटेंसेस शेयर कर रहे हैं, सर्विसेज शेयर कर रहे हैं, ऑल दोज विल बी काउंटेड इन बीओपी बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट. तो इसका दो पार्ट्स होते हैं, एक तो होता है करंट अकाउंट एंड द अदर वन इज द कैपिटल अकाउंट. ठीक है, कैपिटल अकाउंट. करंट अकाउंट्स, देयर इज अ बैलेंस ऑफ ट्रेड व्हिच इज विजिबल्स एंड देयर इज द that is the services, not visibles. अभी यहाँ पे है ठीक है, we import and exchange rate is generally counted in the basis of on the base of dollar. ठीक है, अगर हम इंपोर्ट कर रहे हैं दैट मींस डॉलर इज मूविंग आउट ऑफ अ कंट्री. वी आर एक्सपोर्टिंग दैट मींस डॉलर इज कमिंग टू अ कंट्री, राइट. सो दैट इंपोर्ट एंड एक्सपोर्ट दिस एंटायर import and export of goods and services, it is called as visible because goods we can see directly, we can touch. Invisible because service we are providing but we cannot directly see. If I tell you education is a service, molecules. So these foods are तो एक्सपोर्ट के हमारे यहाँ से गुड्स जाएगा, प्रोडक्शन जाएगा, हमारे पास पैसे आएंगे, ठीक है. तो एक्सपोर्ट शुड बी मोर देन इंपोर्ट्स. इफ दोनों इफ द opposite case happens, if the import is more than the export, then we are having a balance deficit of trade. ठीक है. So this is the current account, and if the current account deficit is there, that means export is less than the imports. And capital account में क्या आ जाएगा, ये remittances, gifts वगैरह जो होते हैं, borrowings, these all be counted in capital account. ठीक है. सो करंट अकाउंट का जो डेफिसिट और फिजिकल डेफिसिट दोनों अगर हम ऐड कर दोनों कंबाइन कर ले तब क्या बन जाता है, वो इट बिकम्स ट्विन डेफिसिट. इट बिकम्स ट्विन डेफिसिट. अंडरस्टैंड दिस. माइक इज लिटिल, थोड़ा सा इसको बुखार हो गया है. दिस इज अ लिटिल अनवेल टुडे. आई होप वी गेट अ try to bring more questions. Till then, keep study, keep preparing. Thank you so much.